So our first couple outings with the B7 here went okay. Obviously, the more time you put into the car, and sometimes, unfortunately, the more money, the better the car is going to get. I'm Chad, this is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. Let's talk about how things are going with the B7. So we had a lot of different racing last weekend. We had racing here, I'll show you a little bit, up at Norcar RC Raceway, where we take our pretty much the B7 that I'm running all the time with minimal setup changes, except we're running big slicks on it. And then here you're going to see video from the local track, smaller, tighter. Of course, we run the tires that everybody is used to, pretty much like fuzz bites, pin swags, that kind of tire. Now, it has taken pretty much everything that I can do and that R1 can build here to get this buggy as it sits to 1,476 grams, 21.5 open motor, 1474, I think, yeah, it's an odd number, is the cutoff weight. So the whole goal here is to have nothing that can impede this thing at all. So I've went as far as doing ultralight body. We've done titanium screw for the uppers. We've pretty much done everything we can. Of course, when we run on the slicks, the weight goes up. I think I'm around 1501, 1502 right now, and that's pretty much where we're at. I do have a couple extra things inside of here, like I always leave like both transponders in. I'm running the Hobby Wing G2 stock spec as well, and the Wi-Fi adapter stays in there, so that way I can get real-time data logging, which has been a key to figuring out where the weak points of the car have been. For example, last weekend at our small indoor track, I noticed that I was pulling some pretty big amps. I recently switched out to this bigger size EAM battery. It was available, and the hobby shop I was at was wanting to get rid of it, and they cut me a deal on it that I could not refuse. Typically, I would run a smaller, low-profile pack to keep the weight down, but since we've done all this stuff to the car, I actually needed to bring the weight up. So I was able to get more punch and more power without adding additional weight, and the results speak for themselves. I was never able, with my driving, to break a 13-second lap, even though a way better driver, on-road guys, were both able to run like 11.8s with this car. The hot lap, I think, for that race weekend was like 11.5. So basically, it's one of the fastest cars up there. I am just not one of the better drivers. But instantly, after putting this battery in there, the second lap, I ran a 12.5 after trying for hours to break out of the 13s. So battery power, new punch, all that kind of stuff definitely helped out. Ended up going to a 69 spur now. I've never tried the 69, but we've got the 69 on there. And of course, we're running the R1 direct drive kit on there with their own modified spurs, their ultralight shaft. Everything, like again, that I could say is on the car. Biggest thing, of course, is the 3-gear R1 transmission in the back there with their own idler gear. We've got ceramic bearings in there, so we've got very, very little resistance. 13mm shocks. I had the Kashima and the chromes left over from the B64. So really this is, I mean, unfortunately, this is like $1,000 buggy probably. I mean, there's no expense spared here. I can't think of anything else that I could replace on it at this point right now. But the whole point is that the buggy is really starting to perform. I see a lot of posts online that people are complaining still about the diff not fitting and the transmission case and everything else. This is a first gen kit. I ordered the carbon case for the top and the R1 3-gear, knowing that these problems were going to exist anyway. So I'm not sure why people haven't taken necessary steps to do this. They would rather throw the parts on there, complain about it, and bitch at AE, which I agree they should make the molds better and things should fit better. But it's kind of is what it is, guys. It's like a $15 part tree. If you're bitching over that, then you probably shouldn't be in this shit. That's just pretty much the way I think it is. So the car itself has been great. Only thing holding it back now is the driver. But things have came alive. We took second place in the podium here at the local track, and up there I qualified I almost qualified third, and I qualified fourth, made it to the A main. There's 4 of us in there, and I finished fourth. Drove the car really bad. Again, it's a bigger track, kind of a little hard to roll on and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, when it comes to the whole package that we got here on the B7, things are really, really amazing. One of the couple key upgrades, of course, that I did lately was the R1 steering ball link set. You know, I didn't think this was going to make that big of a deal for $7, but man, it really does. When you put these on versus your regular stocks, you are definitely going to notice how much less slop you're going to have in that link there. Definitely makes a huge difference. We did the turnbuckles to save some weight. We even did silly things like the flange nuts, but again, it's all about 1476. I want this in a 21.5 to be as close to weight as I can, and I don't want to like start adding and throwing weight to it. That is the key. So we got more racing with this up at the big track on Sunday. We got F1 tomorrow. It's going to be a great weekend, but I just kind of wanted to give everybody an update on the B7 and how things are going. Ultralight body too. So if you're looking to get, build yourself a competitive 21.5 just stock type of racer or something like that, depending upon where you're at, what your skill level's at, this is kind of what you might be looking at right here. That's going to do it, guys. We will talk to you all later. Peace.